In the dim glow of a rainy afternoon, Alex Thompson sat hunched over a chipped formica table in a forgotten corner cafe, his calloused hands cradling a lukewarm cup of black coffee that tasted more like regret than caffeine. His eyes, weary from another sleepless night spent juggling bills and bedtime stories, drifted aimlessly across the room until they locked onto a face that shattered the fragile walls he'd built around his heart, a face from a lifetime ago, her smile unchanged, her presence like a ghost stepping out of faded photographs. It was Elena, his first love, the girl who'd once promised him forever under a starlit sky, now sitting just a few tables away, oblivious to the storm of emotions crashing through him, and he had no idea that the elegant woman before him had risen from their shared humble beginnings to command a multi-million-dollar empire as a CEO. If you believe in the power of kindness and the magic of second chances, hit that like button, drop a comment below sharing your own story of unexpected reunions, share this video with someone who needs a reminder that love can rewrite destinies, and don't forget to subscribe to Moments of Love for more heartwarming tales that restore your faith in humanity. Alex's life hadn't always been this relentless grind. Back in their small hometown, he and Elena had been inseparable, two dreamers navigating the awkward dance of high school romance with stolen kisses behind the bleachers and whispered plans for a future painted in vibrant hues. But life, with its cruel twists, had pulled them apart. Elena's family moved across the country for her father's job, and though they vowed to stay connected, the distance eroded their bond like waves against a crumbling shore, leaving Alex to face adulthood alone. He married young, too young perhaps, to a woman who shared his optimism but not his resilience, and when their son, little Jamie, arrived, it seemed like a new chapter of joy. Yet, tragedy struck when his wife succumbed to a sudden illness, leaving Alex a widower at 32, thrust into the role of single father with a toddler who looked at him with eyes full of innocent questions he couldn't always answer. The days blurred into a haze of minimum wage shifts at the auto repair shop, where grease-stained overalls hid the exhaustion etching lines into his once youthful face, and evenings were a battle against mounting debts, rent overdue, medical bills from his wife's final days piling up like unspoken accusations, and the constant fear that one more unexpected expense would shatter their fragile existence. Jamie, with his mop of curly hair and boundless energy, was Alex's anchor and his ache. The boy deserved playgrounds and birthday parties, not hand-me-down clothes and apologies for why Santa couldn't bring the toy truck this year. Alex pushed through, driven by a fierce, unyielding love, but the weight of it all pressed down, making simple outings like this cafe visit, a rare treat funded by skipping lunch, a momentary escape from the suffocating routine. As Elena glanced up from her laptop, her eyes met his across the crowded room, and for a heartbeat, time folded in on itself, erasing the years and the heartaches. She rose with a grace that spoke of confidence earned through trials he couldn't yet fathom, approaching his table with a tentative smile that masked the whirlwind inside her. They exchanged awkward greetings, the kind laced with unspoken histories, and soon words tumbled out like long-buried treasures, reminiscences of summer nights by the lake, the way they'd dreamed of escaping their small-town confines together. Alex felt a spark ignite in his chest, a warmth he hadn't known since before the world grew cold, but he guarded it carefully, sharing only fragments of his current life, the joy of Jamie's laughter, the satisfaction of fixing engines that roared back to life under his hands. He didn't mention the eviction notices tucked away in his drawer or the nights he lay awake calculating how to stretch a paycheck to cover formula and utilities. Elena listened with an intensity that made him feel seen, truly seen, for the first post-loss time, her responses gentle probes that drew him out without pressure. She spoke vaguely of her own path, travels, career shifts, omitting the boardrooms where she commanded respect, the private jets that whisked her to international deals, the fortune amassed through sheer grit after clawing her way up from entry-level positions in a cutthroat tech industry. To Alex, she was still the girl with the infectious laugh, not the millionaire CEO whose company revolutionized sustainable energy solutions, her wealth a shield against vulnerabilities she rarely revealed. The encounter lingered in Alex's mind long after they parted with promises to meet again, a casual exchange of numbers that felt like fate's gentle nudge. Days turned into weeks, and their reconnections deepened. Coffee dates evolved into walks in the park where Jamie tagged along, his tiny hand swinging between them as if instinctively bridging the gap of lost time. Alex struggled inwardly with the rekindling flames, his pride a stubborn barrier, refusing to let Elena see the full extent of his hardships, like the time he skipped a meal to afford Jamie's school supplies or the humiliating rejection from yet another loan application. He pushed himself harder at work, taking extra shifts that left his body aching, all while hiding the toll from her, fearing pity would tarnish the purity of their renewed bond. Elena, sensing his burdens without knowing their depth, found subtle ways to offer support. A forgotten gift card for groceries slipped into his jacket, invitations to dinners at cozy restaurants where she insisted on paying as old friends catching up. Her own challenges echoed in the background. Building her empire had meant sacrifices, lonely nights in hotel rooms, betrayals from trusted colleagues, the constant pressure to prove herself in a male-dominated field, but she buried them, drawn to Alex's quiet strength and the unfiltered joy Jamie brought into her structured world. Suspense built as their lives intertwined more closely. Alex noticed small luxuries in Elena's life, a designer watch glimpsed under her sleeve, the effortless way she navigated the city, but attributed them to modest success, never suspecting the vast chasm between their worlds. Tensions simmered beneath the surface, emotions swelling like a gathering storm. Alex faced a breaking point when Jamie fell ill with a persistent fever, the doctor's visit revealing a need for expensive tests that his insurance barely covered, plunging him into a spiral of desperation where he considered selling his late wife's wedding ring, a relic of happier times he clung to like a lifeline. He confided fragments to Elena during a late-night call, his voice cracking with vulnerability, and she responded with a quiet resolve that puzzled him. Arranging for a specialist through connections, she downplayed, covering costs under the guise of anonymous charity. The gesture stirred unease in Alex, pride warred with gratitude, making him question if he was worthy of her kindness, while Elena grappled with her secret, fearing revelation would shatter the authenticity of their connection, turning her into a savior rather than an equal. Their moments together grew more charged, vivid scenes unfolding like a cinematic reel, a rainy evening where they sheltered under an awning, shoulders brushing as laughter mingled with thunder, a quiet picnic where Jamie's innocent questions about mommy in heaven brought tears to Elena's eyes, reminding her of her own unfulfilled dreams of family. The pace of their story accelerated subtly, each encounter peeling back layers of guarded hearts, building toward an inevitable crossroads where truths could no longer hide. As the seasons shifted from autumn's chill to winter's embrace, the revelation unfurled in a moment of raw honesty. During a heartfelt conversation in Elena's modest apartment, chosen to mask her opulent penthouse lifestyle, Alex stumbled upon a business magazine featuring her on the cover, the headline proclaiming her as a trailblazing CEO whose net worth eclipsed his wildest imaginations. Shock rippled through him like a seismic wave, a mix of awe, betrayal, and self-doubt crashing over his carefully maintained facade. He confronted her not with anger, but with the quiet pain of feeling outmatched, unworthy in the shadow of her success. Elena, tears streaming down her face, poured out her story, the relentless climb from poverty, the isolation of power, how seeing him again had reignited a part of her soul she'd thought lost forever. She hadn't hidden her wealth to deceive, but to reconnect as equals, free from the distortions money often brought. In that vulnerable exchange, barriers crumbled. Alex saw not a millionaire, but the girl who'd once shared his dreams, now offering not charity, but partnership. He opened up fully about his struggles, the endless cycle of debt, the fear of failing Jamie, and together, they forged a path forward, Elena's resources becoming tools for empowerment rather than handouts, helping Alex start a small mechanic business while she learned the simple joys of family life through Jamie's eyes. Their union blossomed into something profound, a testament to resilience and rediscovered love, where Alex's shop thrived under Elena's strategic guidance, and Jamie gained a mother figure whose wealth paled against her boundless affection. The family they built was a mosaic of past pains and present hopes, inspiring those around them with quiet acts of kindness, scholarships for single parents, community programs funded by Elena's foundation, that rippled outward like stones in a pond. Alex, once adrift in isolation, found strength in vulnerability, while Elena discovered that true wealth lay in the warmth of shared mornings and bedtime stories, not balance sheets. As they stood together on a hill overlooking the city, watching the sunset paint the sky in golden promises, the weight of years lifted, leaving behind a legacy of second chances that whispered to anyone willing to listen. Love, in its purest form, can heal even the deepest wounds. If this story of enduring love and unexpected twists has touched your heart, bringing a tear to your eye or a smile to your lips, please like this video, subscribe to Moments of Love for more emotional journeys, and share it with a friend who needs to believe in miracles again. Your engagement means the world and keeps these tales alive. Before we wrap up, I'd love for you to comment below with the line, "Love always finds its way back," if this story reminded you that no matter how far we've strayed, true connections endure.